Hello, my dear students of Standard 7. Today we are going to learn 7th Standard English, Unit 1 Prose, Journey by Train, Section 2. I hope you understood Section 1. We just stopped like that the train went towards the valleys of the Satpur mountains, which separates the Kandish from Bundelkhand. It was 3 o'clock in the morning. So let us start section 2 and let us know what is happening in section 2. Before moving into section 2, let us know the glossary meanings of section 2. First one is halt. Halt means stop. Stop na நிறுத்துதல். Second one, acacia, a thorny tree. Pisantarum வேலமரம். It's a kind of tree which has thorns. முள் அதிகமாக இருக்கும் சரியா, and it also secretes a gum-like structure. Third one, snapped. Snapped means became angry. கோபப்படுறது. Furious means extremely angry. சீற்றத்தோட கோபப்படுறது. Okay, very very angry. Maybe they would raise their voice in a high tone. Foreseen, predicted, தொலைநோக்குடன். One who predicts the future. Who predicts the future, children? An astrologer. Yes. Obstacle. Obstacle means difficulty. தடங்கல். Let me begin the story. The train stopped at 8 o'clock in the midst of a clearing some 15 miles beyond Rothal, where there were several bungalows and workmen's cabins. The conductor passing along the carriages shouted, "Passengers will get out here." What happened now? The train stopped at 8 o'clock. It was 3 o'clock in the morning, no? At Bundelkhand, and the train moved towards the valleys of Satpur mountains. That is the thing which we learnt from section 1 last. Now, what is happening now? The train suddenly stopped at 8 o'clock in the midst of a clearing some 15 miles beyond Rothal. So it has not reached Rothal, but it stopped 15 miles before Rothal, okay, where there were several bungalows and workmen's cabins. So there were several bungalows. You know what is the meaning of bungalows? A luxurious house. And workmen's cabins. There were people who were doing the track work. You know very well that at that time only the built of train, I mean the tracks were started. So the people, those who are working in the track, or the people who were given that work, were living in the cabins, workmen's cabins. Okay, they were separate cabins. You could see in the picture also the cabins where they live. The conductor passing along the carriages means it is the compartment. Okay, so there was a conductor in this train. Okay, the one who drives the train is called as a loco pilot, and there is a conductor, and he shouted at the passengers that passengers will get out here. What is this? At this stage nobody can get out. There is also no station here. At the midway they are asking the people to get out from the train. Phileas Fogg looked at Sir Francis Cromarty for an explanation. So Phileas Fogg looked at Sir Francis, his friend, for an explanation. What is happening now? What's the hell is happening now? But the general is nothing but Sir Francis Cromarty, could not tell why there was a halt in the midst of this forest of dates and acacias. So he could also not explain what is happening at this midst. So in the midst of this forest, what is happening? இந்த நடு பாதையில், இந்த காட்டுக்கு நடுவில் எதுக்காக ட்ரெயின் நின்று இருக்குது அப்படின்றத எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ண தெரியல. அந்த ஃபாரஸ்ட்டில் என்ன கைண்ட் ஆஃப் ட்ரீஸ் இருக்குது? டேட்ஸ் அண்ட் அகாஷியஸ். அகாஷியஸ் இஸ் ஆல்ரெடி டோல்ட் யூ, இட் இஸ் வேல மரம். ஓகே, பிசின் மாதிரி வரும் ஒரு வேலன் மரம். அது ரொம்ப முள்ளாக இருக்கும் அந்த ட்ரீ ஃபுல்லாகவே. டேட்ஸ்னால் உனக்கு தெரியும், பேரிச்சம்பழம் மரம். Passepartout rushed out and speedily returned crying, "Monsieur, no more railway." "What do you mean, sir?" asked Sir Francis. So what the assistant, the attendant, Passepartout, he rushed out speedily. He just rushed out, came with a high speed, and he just cried. Cried means what? Sound kathra and madri. Monsieur, it is the name. Okay, it is a French name which is addressed for a higher official. Okay, Monsieur. Like we say Mr., no, Mr., Madam. இந்த சேம் வே மோன்ஷியர் நோ மோர் ரயில்வே, இதுக்கப்புறம் ட்ராக்கே கிடையாது, ரயில்வே லைன்ஸே கிடையாதுன்ற மாதிரி கத்துறாரு. உடனே சர் ஃப்ரான்சிஸ் இஸ் சேயிங் வாட் யூ மீன், என்ன நீ சொல்கிற அப்படின்றாரு. ஐ மீன் டு சே தட் த ட்ரெயின் இஸ் இன் கோயிங் டு கோ எனி ஃபர்தர், இதுக்கு மேலே ட்ரெயின் மூவ் ஆகுது. ஃபர்தர் ஸ்பெல்லிங்ஸ் இருக்கு given wrongly, FURTHER further. The general at once stepped out while Phileas Fogg calmly followed him. So the general Francis Cromarty, he stepped out from the train, and Phileas Fogg is calmly, okay, without any tension, he is following general, and they proceeded together to the conductor. They both went to meet the conductor. Now both of them asking, okay, they both went to see the conductor. Now what is happening? Where are we? Asked Sir Francis. நம்ம எங்கே இருக்கோன்னு Sir Francis is asking. At the hamlet of Colby. Hamlet means it's a cook கிராமம், ஒரு கிராமம், ஓகேவா, பட்டிக்காடு கிராமம், ஓகேவா, எந்த இடத்தோடது, கோல்பி. Do we stop here? Certainly. The railway isn't finished. What? Not finished? No. There's still a matter of 50 miles to be laid from here to Allahabad, where the line begins again. So the conductor is explaining to the general that the railway cannot move from here. The rail cannot move from here since there are no railway lines from here. It is about 50 miles from there to Allahabad, where they have to go by some other means of transport. Okay, so he is just saying, the conductor is saying these things, and they are arguing. So general is arguing with the conductor. Okay, they have to reach Allahabad. From there only they can start moving by another train. Okay, Hamlet means Kugrama. But the papers announced the opening of the railway throughout. So in the newspaper and all, it was announced that the railway lines were being opened throughout the country. What are you saying like this? What can I tell you, officer? The papers were mistaken. So the conductor is explaining, the papers are all mistaken. எல்லாம் தப்பா எழுதிட்டாங்க. Yet you sell tickets from Bombay to Calcutta, snapped Sir Francis. So what happened now? Who's very, very angry now? Sir Francis is very angry now. He says that, but you sell tickets from Bombay to Calcutta, but you take the tickets, you take the money from us from Bombay to Calcutta, but you are not leaving us in the particular place where we are asking, but you take the money for that journey. So he's in a very high tone, he's shouting at the conductor, okay, who is growing very angry. No doubt, replied the conductor, but the passengers know that they must provide means of transport for themselves from Colby to Allahabad. So he says that you only don't know, sir, but all the people who are traveling in this, okay, the passengers who travel in our train certainly know that they have to take some other means of transport to reach the place Allahabad, from Colby to Allahabad. Sir Francis was furious. So he was very extremely angry now. Okay, who was angry? Sir Francis. Passepartout would willingly have knocked the conductor down and did not dare to look at Mr. Frog. So Passepartout was very much angry with the conductor. Okay, he did not dare to look at Mr. Frog. So he was very sad now. Okay, because they knew that there is no railway line from Colby to Allahabad. What are they going to do now? Sir Francis said, Mr. Fogg, quietly, we will, if you please, look about for some means of transport to Allahabad. So Sir Francis said, okay, Sir Francis said, Mr. Fogg, quietly, okay, Mr. Fogg said quietly, Sir Francis, okay, this line is spoken by Mr. Fogg. Mr. Fogg is Phileas Fogg. He is saying to his friend, Sir Francis, we will take some other means of transport. Let us see how we could reach Allahabad. Don't get angry, he is saying. So Mr. Fogg was being calm only. So Mr. Fogg, this is a delay greatly to your disadvantage. So Francis is saying, Mr. Fogg, this is going to be a big delay for us because we have to move around the world in 80 days. If you're going to spend your time here, okay, waste. It is a big waste for us and it's going to be a disadvantage for us. No, Sir Francis, it was foreseen. What? You knew that the way? So foreseen means was he predicted already that it is going to happen, because he has started a journey and he knew that there would be many obstacles in the way. So he was very much prepared in that way, and he was kept quiet. Okay, he kept calm that everything will be okay. Not at all, but I knew that some obstacle or other would sooner or later arise on my road. Nothing therefore is lost. So he says the same thing which I explained now. No, I knew that some obstacle will come in my way, and I was prepared for it. And there is nothing lost for me. There is no loss for me. He says. Who says this? Mr. Phileas Fogg. Okay, I have 2 days, which I have already gained to sacrifice. A steamer leaves Calcutta for Hong Kong at noon on the 25th. This is the 22nd, and we shall reach Calcutta in time. So, here, in time means early enough, not late. On time means punctually according to the schedule. Okay, on time. On time means பங்க்சுவலாக போகிறது. இப்போ 9:30னா 9:30 கரெக்டாக ஆன் டைம் போகிறது. இன் டைம்னா 9:30க்கு முன்னாடியே போயிடுறது. ஓகேவா, தட் இஸ் கால்ட் அஸ் இன் டைம். இப்போ 9:25க்கெலாம் போயிட்டு அது இன் டைம்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஆன் டைம்னா 9:30 அப்படின்னா 9:30 ஷார்ப்பாக போகிறது, அதுதான் ஆன் டைம் சொல்லுவாங்க. ஓகேவா. ஸோ திஸ் மேன் மிஸ்டர் ஃபிலியஸ் ஃபாக் இஸ் சேயிங், ஐ ஹாவ் 2 days, எனக்கு இன்னும் 2 நாள் இருக்குது. ஐ ஹவ் ஆல்ரெடி கெயின் டு sacrifice, என்கிட்ட ஆல்ரெடி இருக்குது, அதை நான் இப்போ sacrifice பண்ணணும்னு விரும்புகிறேன். ஒரு ஸ்டீமர், இட்ஸ் அ பிக் ஷிப். ஓகேவா, இட் லீவ்ஸ் கல்கட்டா ஃபார் ஹாங்காங் அட் நூன். ஸோ நம்ம கல்கட்டா போயிடலாம், சீக்கிரமாகவே போயிடலாம். அந்த ஸ்டீமர் ஷிப் வந்து 25th அன்றைக்கி தான் கிளம்புது. நம்ம 22nd வந்து திஸ் இஸ் த 22nd, நம்ம இன்றைக்கி 22nd டேட்டில் இருக்கோம். நம்ம அந்த கல்கட்டாவுக்கு சீக்கிரமாகவே இன் டைம் போயிடலாம், அதாவது அந்த டைமுக்கு முன்னாடியே போயிடலான்னு சொல்கிறாரு. ஓகே, with this section 2 is stopped, children. Let us move to section 3, and I hope that you have understood section 2 clearly, children, what all happened in section 2. You know very well that Sir Francis Cromarty was very angry, but Phileas was very calm and composed. He knew everything, and the section 2 stops here, that they have to reach Calcutta in time, and they have 2 days left for it. Okay, let us meet in section 3, children. Thank you for your patient listening.